You guys know you get weaponize your internet usage in the age of modern warfare. Everything's different than it is. You don't have to put a 5.62 round through someone's head in order to disable them these days. Although that is a good solution. Although always disable the person, put it through their thighs a few times and make it so three of their friends have to drag them off the battlefield. But you can just easily hack people, do whatever. You don't have to know how to hack. That's just like an advanced skill. You can just stop people on the internet. They have these scammy corporations, scammy advertisements. I mean, who on YouTube isn't like much of a scumbag, right? And YouTube themselves. In Hollywood, everyone's always talking trash about YouTube, Amazon, Hollywood. Just stop supporting them. Use software that doesn't allow ads to appear when you watch it. There's software out there that will take all, and then they try to skip the advertising blocking, and then so they just create in-video advertising, and now there's in-video advertising blocking too. And I mean, these are the scummiest of people, like Linus Tech Tips. I mean, you can just tell that dude looks like a rat, but I mean, I don't know how he gets 6 million subs, because they're supposed to be tech people, and back in my day, people who knew how to spell PC or something better were smart. And nowadays, I guess everyone who has a computer isn't quite like a tech nerd who can understand what a computer is. So he gets all these subs, and it's like his channel is just, you can look back, like there's the time when he and every other channel on there sold out, and then they kicked Wendell off of Tech Syndicate because he was the only one who didn't sell out to NVIDIA when this one thing happened. So they're just scamming people, and of course they are. They're blocking anyone who says anything intelligent. So anyone, you should just assume anyone on TV or on the internet who you're allowed to know exists is a scumbag. I mean, you think Justin Bieber actually makes good music? No, he's a prostitute for an old man. So he gets $1 million contracts for that. And that's how they launder the $1 million they paid him when he was a child for him being a 8-year-old boy prostitute for Hollywood. That's kind of a lot of what that is there, especially with the young stars. Even Justin Bieber's mom said that. So if you're oh no, that doesn't happen. It's well, I mean, 40, 50 years ago, that was common sense. That if you want to go to Hollywood, what happens is you have sex. You got to go when you're a kid. You got to have sex with a bunch of old people, and then they'll give you a job. Maybe if you're good enough at sex. I mean, because if I was a Hollywood producer and you're were just horrible at sex and nasty looking as well, it's I wouldn't even hire you afterwards. I just gotta go. But I guess they gotta, Weinstein has to take what he can get, so you never know. But clearly they hire the pretty people, and that doesn't matter. Being pretty is about taking care of yourself and combing your hair. People who aren't pretty they don't care. They're the Cheeto monsters. I'm sorry, the Cheeto Gorillas. You guys are what's the Cheeto monsters? The Cheeto Gorillas, my bad. But yeah, hit all these corporations up in the best way you can. You don't like Hollywood? Don't pay for their stuff. Back in my day, back in the 90s, you could just burn off DVDs if you didn't like Hollywood back then, which, I mean, there wasn't big movement against it. You could have just burned DVDs of all the movies and passed them out for free on the street, and it would have hobbled their system. And now you can download it for free, and I think they actually put it out there for you to download for free. That way rich people subsidize poor people, and of course there's propaganda in there as well, so they need you to listen to that. They need you to hate Kazakhstan because they got to invade Kazakhstan in order to reclaim Ukraine and places like that at Khazaria. And, they act like they've lost control of Russia, so I think that's what it is. I think Putin started executing some people, and they didn't like that. they probably started executing some people who make movies over there in Russia, and they got scared. So, yeah, there's ways to fight this stuff without really doing much of anything. Just look for the software. Look for the proper software, and you can block all this stuff, get it all for free, whatever. You can get mad discounts and stuff too, but it's like really good forms of protesting. You know, it's like these people out there smashing up these rich yuppie stores in USA right now. It's like, hey, that's like protesting. That's literally protesting. And then the Republicans are mad, I guess, because their wives, if everyone owns a $600,000 purse, then their wives will like have to find some new expensive item to buy. And probably, maybe they can like chop black people's ears off and start wearing them as necklaces, and to show like how wealthy they are or whatever. Like they do it, like you guys do with diamonds, right? You just go in there and chop their heads off and take their diamonds, and you're like, yeah, check out my diamond. It means you love me. You've killed many people to give me this diamond. But yeah, and that's another thing too. How come no one's ever protested diamonds? It's like the cult of Christianity, Christ insanity, and the pedo. I mean, that's a pedo cult through and through. The entire. I hear it's not like that in other nations, and they're not obsessed with the pedophilia and touching baby penises as a rule of thumb when the baby is born. For God and country and whatever. Yeah, apparently that's just USA that does that, but they do that. That is what they do in USA. So yeah, it's one of those things that should be protested, but really isn't. Instead, I mean, there's no reason to attack USA if you live in it, because you benefit from being there, and all that stolen land and all that stolen money and stolen resources, you benefit from that. So I could see why no one cares. You know, all the genital mutilation and touching of the little children, and that's like branding. That's like a gang sign. That's like when the Crips come and like beat you in and like carve a Star of David into you, which is pretty telling. Imagine that. Crips was the biggest gang in USA. I wonder who told black people to start that if they were using the Star of David as their gang sign. Yeah, but you can protest this stuff like really easily. Just get ad blockers. Refuse to do certain things. Refuse to do a lot. Refuse to go to school. I remember like when I was a kid, they had to start having police come arrest your parents if you didn't go to school, because the little propaganda system was falling apart. And the only reason to go to school was to sell drugs or to shoot someone else who was there. So no one was going in some areas because no one wanted to get shot. It's not like you were getting an education unless you like football. And if you're educated on football, like, you're not educated. Sorry. Like, oh, you know how to throw a ball. Let me go get a cat or a dog and see if they can't master that better than you, which they will. That's what we should do next. We should have dog football, right? They just inject the dogs with steroids and human growth hormone like the gorillas on the field do. And then the dogs would be so superior, and the dogs would just mash, like just chomp right through each other's necks and stuff. Or we could like train the humans already playing NFL to do that. That would make the game exciting, rather than a bunch of pansies and soft pillows and, smacking each other and waving their rainbow flags around and all that. That's not an education. Learning about that. School sucks. So protesting all that stuff is like a good way to destroy the system, just completely dismantle it, just trash it. I mean, look how far it's been hobbled already. It's only going to take a few more kicks to the leg, and that whole system in USA is gone. And that's good, because it can be rebuilt after that. Both sides want it gone. Both sides want to keep it, because they both benefit from all the stolen shit they have. At the end of the day, it's just about changing one or two things for each side. One side can't spell white supremacy, but we're told they want it. And then the other side, they're just kids who want to burn everything down and don't even care, I think, at the end of the day. But either way, it's in the way. It's been in the way of my life, and it's been in the way of the rest of the world for a while. So it should be changed, and a great way to do that is to destroy Google, destroy Amazon, destroy, like right now, like I've actually accidentally been like talking about Tesla and Elon Musk like they're good people, but it's like obviously he's not, because he's a superstar in the media. He's one of them. So, it's like you can hear in some of my videos. I've fully explained there's like predators in my life, but I've still made one or two videos every now and then, saying what's up to the predators, what's up to the black papacy in my life, and all this stuff. And just I'm like super drunk and high that day, and just trying to be in a good mood and not remember that, oh, I have black papacy who's been in my life since I was a kid, and these other predators who've been in my life for so long. And then these other predators show up, and then these other predators show up to hostels and put drugs in the alcohol they give me and stuff like that. So, but I still might say something positive about them every now and then, because I'm super drunk and high and I forget 10 seconds ago, and that's how I feel better. And one way we can feel better is destroying Amazon and Google, and you can do that. Destroy YouTube by using ad blockers, using sponsor blockers, using merchandise blocking, and just go around and laugh at you guys know they're all scumbags at the top, so just, you got a creator with 6 million subs, he's probably selling his body as an 8-year-old to these people to get famous to start, and then he's selling out everyone else, including all his viewers, like Linus. So just, rob them in any way. It's illegal to go to their house and just start taking stuff out of their house. So, and you kids today are pussies, so I really doubt you're going to do that. But, back in my day we would have, but, don't do that. Don't throw rocks through their windows, because you're going to be the only one doing that stuff these days, and you get caught. Although I hear they're breaking a lot of windows in USA. In LA right now, the rich buildings, and the Republicans are crying about that. And I'm not going to cry about people breaking into a place to steal $60,000 purses. It's funny. It's funny that there's retards who like a place that sells $60,000 purses, and then it's funny that there's people who are just breaking in, but they probably want the $60,000 purse. It's probably not about, let's just break in and steal the $60,000 purse and throw it in the trash to get rid of it. But I think all that stuff's fun. And one good way in the age of cyber warfare to wage war is to use ad blockers, sponsor blockers. Just level all sorts of accusations against the owners and stuff. They're all involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to Justin Bieber channel and assume that he is only famous because he was selling himself as a child sex slave. And because his mom said that too. So she agrees with me as well. And that's how it is. Intelligent people know that's how it is. So, just like wage war against these systems. Get rid of Amazon, get rid of YouTube, get rid of Google. There's almost no need for it. They try to find all sorts of ways. There's other ways I can tell you. I can tell you specific apps and stuff to use, but I'm not going to, because a whole bunch of times when I name specific things, that gets hobbled, and then I have to find the next one that starts getting built. Like when IRC chat used to be the whereas download place, torrent place, before torrents. Once I started talking about that, torrents had to come out, Napster and all that. And then once everyone knew about that, that had to get replaced. And now, where do you get that stuff? Well, it's actually right out in the open, but I can't tell you where that's at, because they've hobbled. They hobble those places all the time, and the bigger they get, the faster they're going to get hobbled. But if you just look around, you can find it. You don't have to pay for music. Like, look at all these bands who just shut down and did nothing last year. Never give a band money again. Until all these musicians who are alive during 2020 are dead and not playing, never buy any band's music. All those people who didn't show up and all that stuff to concerts and listen to the government, man, these are pansies who talk about killing people and eating their guts, and they gotta closet full of corpses, and then the government says stay inside because there's a flu. They just steal their records, just download their records, burn them, hand them out on the street corner, wage war against them.